last minute people joining, but I want to take the time to thank you all for setting aside some time tonight to join us on this Inland Northwest Council Camps pre-leaders meeting. So yeah, thank you very much. We're looking forward to some great summertime activities at our camps.
You're currently unable to mute yourself, but at the end, before we do the breakout rooms, we will give you the ability to unmute yourself so you can ask your individual questions. And if you have questions in the meantime, please feel free to ask them in the chat and we will make a note of it.
All right, so it's about 6 after the hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. So we're going to get rolling here. Thank you for joining us tonight. First and foremost, I'd like to say that we're proud that our camps are nationally accredited BSA Scout camps. Let's just go over our camp leadership real quick. My name is Jason Charland. I'm the Easton Camp Director. On the line with us, we have Margaret Parsley. She is the Camp Grizzly Director. And then with us, we have our camp business managers. We have Lauren Clark, our camp business manager for Easton, and Summer Murray, our Camp Grizzly business manager. Also with us is Jeffrey Latner. He's our council registrar. I know many of you have probably already interacted with him regarding registrations and payments. But here's his contact information if anybody still needs that. I'm going to leave this screen up for just a moment longer in case you want to take a screenshot or a picture or write it down. We are recording this too, and we will send the link out to everybody that is registered for summer camps. So you can share it with anybody that might not have been able to make it tonight. All right. We're going to go over a few talking points tonight. First and foremost, we are going to talk about things that are similar between both of our camps, Camp Easton and Camp Grizzly, and then we will do breakout rooms for Easton and Grizzly respectively to get into more specific details about each camp. But right now we're going to go over arrival and early arrival for our camps, med checks and things commonly missed on those, swim checks, t-shirt orders and the deadline for those, merit badge class signups, our menu and allergies and dietary restrictions, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end of that, and then we will go into our breakout rooms. All right, first and foremost, arrival. So this is what we do when we first get to camp. So please try not to arrive earlier than 1 p.m. on Sunday. And this is strictly because most of our staff is getting back probably about noon from their day off for the week. And so we don't want to stress them out and then have you guys waiting unnecessarily until we're ready to go. About a week before you arrive at camp, you will be contacted by either our camp commissioner or a camp leadership team member to let you know what your campsite is, and then communicate any last minute updates that we may have or that you may have for us. Some of you have asked us about early arrival. I know a lot of you have a pretty lengthy travel time. So during that phone call that happens about a week before you come to camp, we will discuss if you need to be there early. Let us know. And then if you need to show up a day early, please try not to show up before 3 p.m. the day prior, because we are still trying to clean and reset the camp from the previous session. So we don't want to get in anybody's way. And then please note that food will not be provided until dinner on Sunday. So if you show up early, please be prepared to provide your own food for your troop. All right, med checks. So first, every person attending camp must have a current, within the last 12 months, BSA medical form, parts A, B, and C, with part C being signed by a physician. A few things that we find that are commonly overlooked or missed on the medical forms are on part A, the parent or participant signature. A lot of times people show up and they just overlook that. That is allowing that youth to actually come to camp. And if we don't have that, then we need to correct that, make phone calls, emails, and that kind of thing. And it takes some time. Also on part A, if there's anybody that is not allowed to pick up your scout, we need to know that. And then part B1, double check that your insurance information is on there or a copy of the insurance card. All right, swim checks. Our camps, in our council, we do allow you guys to do swim checks ahead of time, but there are some stipulations to that. They can be done prior to camp if they're administered by a lifeguard. They use the BSA swim check requirements. And you also use the BSA swim classification record. You can find that on Google. Just type in that exact BSA swim classification record, and you can print out the form. And of course, if you're not able to do swim checks prior to camp, that's okay. We still administer them during the check-in process and all that on the first day. We find that it just helps quicken the process. And so we try to provide an easier check-in procedure by allowing swim checks before camp. All right, merit badge class sign up. When you go into your registrations, under each participant, this is what you're going to see. All of this stuff needs to be filled out. And then right here is your class selection. So you're going to want to click on that, and then it will bring up this right here. Some of the things you want to make sure to select are either youth or adult or all classes, and then the class period, and then scroll down and select which class you would like to sign up for. Once you select a merit badge class, it will automatically gray out any other merit badges that are also in the same time slot, so you cannot double book yourself. T-shirt orders. Again, under each participant, right there, under the Inland Northwest Council trading post is where you would want to select the T-shirt if your troop prefers to do that. And this is our 2023 camp T-shirt, and it's going to have your troop number screen printed on the sleeve. And this is an option. It's not required. I just know a lot of troops like to order those ahead of time. And then the deadline for those is May 8th. I know it's not a lot of time, but our manufacturer and supplier is just, we need those at that deadline so that we can get those shirt orders ordered, so that we can get them for when you arrive at camp. When you select and this is just Easton's shirt, for example, all the adult or all the sizes are adult sizes in there. So small to 4X. Also in your registration is your allergies and dietary restrictions. So right here, you want to make sure to record any of those so that we can get a record of those before you come to camp. And we do our very best to work with everybody's dietary restrictions and allergy information. We try to have alternates for most of our menu items as far as vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, and that kind of thing. If you have any specific questions about that, please feel free to email us, and then we will work with you to get alternates and stuff that work for your participants. All right, I'm going to let Jeffrey open up and see if any of you guys have any questions that we can answer for you at this time over the things that we've discussed so far.
I'll ask the first one. Are there any things that you can qualify to do with the beginner swim test?
I'm sorry, is there anything we can do with the beginner swim test?
Yeah, the program guide indicated that maybe some of the merit badges could be done with a beginner swim test, or is it the BSA swim test, the final one that needs to be done?
Correct. The beginner, if you only qualify as a beginner, you are kind of limited on the aquatic stuff that you can do. For instance, to take the swimming merit badge, you have to pass the swimmer test first. And then I'm going to let Jeffrey chime in on the water sports ones. I believe you also have to pass the swim test as well. But if they want to go out in like a canoe or a rowboat or something like that, as long as they are in a craft with someone that has passed the swim test, we allow that as well.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I had 2 questions for you. One is super basic, and that is the class registration form that you showed earlier on. Mm-hmm. Are we supposed to send the link to the parents and say, hey, go ahead and register your kids? Is that how it works, or are we registering on their behalf?
Yes, Jeffrey, are we using the parent portal?
This is Jeffrey. I highly do not recommend that you give parents access to the full registration. They can inadvertently screw up a lot of stuff. You can either solicit your parents for their information, what they think their scout wants, or ask the scouts themselves, and you can do it for them. Or you can utilize the parent portal feature of the registration, and you can select restrictions, and it will generate a link, a user ID, and a password specifically for that attendee, and the parent can log in and select them themselves.
Okay, so if I send them that link to the parent portal, they can completely self-register. Is that correct?
That is correct, and there are options like you can also have them pay, because there are some classes that will incur extra fees. Mm-hmm. So you can give them the ability to pay via the restricted link, or you can keep that from happening. So then all money is funneled through the troop. It's really up to what you want to do. Okay, that's super helpful. My second question is, we have a bunch of vegetarians in our particular troop, and one of the camp leaders has volunteered to do some cooking with them, and we just need access to a fridge. So is there some space where we can store some food?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And if they need to prepare any kind of special type of dish or something like that, they're more than welcome to come in, and we work well with unit leaders that come in that need to do that kind of stuff too.
Great. Also, so we could actually even use the kitchen facilities, is that?
Yes, we will work with you. We need to, obviously, we would take any help we can get in the kitchen if you'd like to volunteer. But yes, anybody that needs to come in, to a certain extent, just limited on size, that kind of thing. So we can't have 50 adults in there at one time trying to make special meals. But yeah, we will do our best to work with you, especially if it's something that's more than just swapping out like a protein or something like that. So
okay, all right, great.
Yeah, we definitely have cold storage for you guys to store food and stuff like that as well.
Fantastic, thanks.
Yep.
So about food, we're cooking our breakfast and our dinner in our campsites.
No food will be cooked in your campsite. At Camp Easton, we'll go into this a little bit more in the Easton breakout, but at Easton, we are doing a rotation in the dining hall just because of the size of our dining hall and its capacity. we physically cannot fit everybody in there. So this year we are going to be doing a rotation on campsites. So some campsites will eat in the dining hall for breakfast, say, and then other campsites will eat in their in the dining hall for breakfast, and then for dinner we'll switch it. So everybody will get to rotate and have that dining hall experience. But no food will be cooked by you guys in your campsite.
Well, then why does it say we need to bring pots and a stove and dishwashing some materials?
Because we would ask that you guys bring mess kits to eat your food in your campsite, and so that you can do your dishes in your campsite as well. But all the food will be brought to you fully cooked, and it's going to be family style, the ones where the meals that you eat in your campsite.
Okay, it says to bring a food cooler, and in the menu list, it said you were only delivering meals twice, on Tuesday or Monday and Thursday. So are you bringing the meals right before mealtime? Or
yes, they will be delivered to the campsites right before mealtime.
and when and how will we know what meals we get there or we got to do in our site?
During the daily SPL meetings, we will inform all the troops, either if they're in the dining hall or in their campsite. So all that information will be delivered on a daily basis. So
Do you have a Trail to First Class program for the new 11-year-olds?
yes, we do this year.
And how do we, is it listed on the registration site?
Yes, it's in the under the class signups.
Is it at the same time every day, or is it by scout jumping around?
It's at the same time every day.
Okay, because it doesn't list it on the schedule.
It should be on there.
I also do want to say that a lot of troops like to cook their own desserts, which might be why those are listed as things to bring, because a lot of troops do like to do dump cakes or other such desserts on their own.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Jeffrey, do we want to answer any of the questions that were asked in the chat so that everybody might be able to hear those questions?
Yeah, so let's see here. VJ did ask us a question about the class selection. T-shirt cost is $12. Let's see, do troops need to bring their own firewood?
No, we have plenty of firewood at camp.
Someone said, what are the sleeping quarters like? Cots, sleeping bags, pads. Lauren answered that we have platforms with canvas tent for sleeping. Many scouts bring sleeping mats or even hammocks for the week, and cots can be rented. I don't know the charge. Do you know, Jason?
Yes, we have lots of cots that can be rented for $25 for the week.
All right, thank you. Are there any adult cook-offs?
Right now, we don't have any scheduled, but that is definitely a good thing that we might ask from a week-to-week basis to see if there's any adults that would like to participate, and we can definitely work that into the schedule.
All right. Do you have space for parking a school bus? That was answered. If you let us know in advance that your troop will be having a bus, we will set off a special campsite that you will have parking space nearby.
Correct.
Let's see here. When are merit badge selections due in the portal? Really up to camp. So, and classes do fill up. So the sooner you can get those in, the better. Payment for the classes is due by the second day of camp. However, it is highly suggested that you pay it online before you get to camp. That's just to minimize any cash handling in transit between the camp and the scout office. And if any changes need to happen, you know, we'll make sure that happens. And if any funds need to be reimbursed, that will be reimbursed. Can you bring your own tents instead of using canvas tents?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Can we drive a pickup to the campsites, or do scouts need to hand carry everything? I believe that's possible. Correct, Jason?
Yes. And we do advise that, like, if we have large troop and you have several vehicles, it's a 1-lane road up to each campsite. So we ask that if we can pile everything into a single pickup truck or a vehicle of some sort, just to minimize the traffic on the road. Sometimes it can get pretty congested going up to the campsites. But yes, absolutely. You can drive to the campsite and unload and then drive back down and then park in the parking lot.
All right, that seems to be all the questions we have in general. If this is what we're gonna do, are we done with the general webinar? Water shoe restrictions. Sorry, Leah Cypress just asked that. What are the water shoe restrictions?
Gosh, most people go in the water barefoot, but you're more than welcome to wear water shoes if you want to. We just ask that if they're open-toed, to only wear them in and around the waterfront, because everywhere else in camp, we do require closed-toed shoes. So,
I mean, you can even wear sneakers.
Yep, and a lot of sandals are considered closed-toe. So,
double checking on the date for the t-shirts. Was that the date that we need to have those ordered by, or the date that we need to have those paid for?
ordered by.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Question about if are there any age restrictions or rank restrictions on any of the activities, like especially the more advanced activities like the zip line or the scuba diving or some of those offerings?
And we'll get into that in the breakout room a little bit, but
okay.
We have registration links for those that have like the sign up forms and stuff, and all of those restrictions will be listed on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said that the swim checks can be done in advance. Is there a restriction on how far in advance? Like, is it within a month of camp or within a couple of weeks of camp, or can we be going out and doing those now and that would be satisfactory?
Yeah, if you want to start doing those now, absolutely. So,
okay.
You just can't use last year's.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, back to the t-shirts for one sec. Did you say May 8th?
Yes.
Is that
yeah, as long as you get those selected in your, that way, because our deadline to get them into our supplier is on the 10th. And so that'll give us a day or two to get all the forms and, from all of the registrations to our supplier. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Will there be a second deadline for t-shirts that are not custom?
No, so and we'll have a stock of those too that are not custom in the trading post, so you can buy them at camp as well.
Are they the same cost buying them at camp or for the $12, or is that just in advance for the custom shirts?
Yeah, same price.
Same price. Okay.
Yep.
Can you quickly explain the process of your 24/7 system putting the merit badge requirement work into the scout record of the roster?
So what we do is all of our area directors will input the finished requirements that they teach during the day. And then at the end of the week, we export it into your guys' scout book. So everything should transfer over. And then if for some reason that doesn't happen, we will provide documentation of all the completions that they did at camp in a PDF form. So
we should be able to see completed and not completed requirements per merit badge.
Correct. Yeah.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Will that work for out of council troops as well, or not?
Jason, can I answer that?
Yes, I was actually.
Okay. We will not export anything to your scout book, but in each of your registrations, there is a file that you can download, and it is an export file that you can upload into either Internet Advancement or Scout Book. And that will update the records for all of your scouts.
Thank you.
So I've had a problem with some of my BSA numbers for my scouts not validating, even though I know the numbers are accurate. So will that PDF come out in a format that we can map it ourselves to our kids in our troop?
It will. So the reason it's not validating is either your council just doesn't use the 24/7 registration system, so there's nothing to validate it to, or it's not, the membership record hasn't been updated in the 24/7 registration system if you do use it. As long as the names match the names that are in Scout Book, then that should automatically map it.
Yeah, we don't use Scout Book either, so we prefer to have, you know, the blue card, you know, sort of paper copies that we run through, but we can figure out how to download from there probably.
Will the blue cards be presented as well or no?
No, we don't use the blue card system anymore. Everything is checked off individually, and then you will get a PDF of it. And so if you want to enter that into your Scout Book has the option to print out blue cards through that system. But for the individual blue cards at camp, it was too cumbersome. And then this way the scouts don't have to worry about losing them during the week. And so we just check everything off, and we'll post those a couple times during the week so leaders can check their progress on those classes throughout the week.
Let me just double check I understand this. So each scout record in the roster is going to have a generated file, or PDF that we will manually download and import into our Scout Book system at home. That's how it works.
Correct.
Yeah, it's one Excel file that will contain all of the records, and you can upload it into either Scout Book if you use Scout Book, or Internet Advancement if that's your sole method of advancement.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Chris Ferrari, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, asked if we can show a bigger picture. In the Easton breakout, I do have a bigger picture of the t-shirts for this year. So Greg asked, yeah, if there's still availability in the classes, you're more than welcome to change or add or subtract merit badge classes for each scout. And then will there be more classes offered than what's already available? And my hope is yes. There's a few classes that I'd like to offer, like the mile swim and lifeguarding, and it just depends on staff. So as many of you know, staffing is increasingly difficult. So my hope is that I get enough staff that I can offer more classes than what's listed on the merit badge list in the program guide. So
if a scout is working on like oh, forgive me, not merit badge, but the Iron Award.
Well, the Iron Scout Award, yeah.
Yes. Will they have opportunity to do things like archery if they're not in the doing an archery merit badge?
Yes, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in our breakouts. We'll go over the daily schedule and our merit badge class times. But short answer is we do have an open program time before dinner every day. And so that would be their opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I think this might be a good time to work into our breakouts, and we can address some of these questions if we haven't yet answered them.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to release the rooms. Everyone will get an option to choose between Easton or Grizzly.
Okay, so we'll get started then. Okay, so this is our shirt. I'm really excited. This is a really cool design that we're going to be using on the screen. Again, the order deadline is May 8th. Excuse me. So, and that will be for custom, and we'll have some more available in the trading post at camp if people were not able to purchase ahead of time. I want to go over the menu. Well, not go over the menu, but go over the importance of recording allergies and food restrictions, dietary restrictions in the system ahead of time as much as possible. If people need to bring their own things, we can work on that. We just need to know ahead of time. And we've had issues in the past where we've had some individuals who have had exceedingly expensive items. I've put that out there that if we have that situation, you may be charged. So it may be better to consider bringing some specific items if that is the case. So contact camp leadership and we'll coordinate with you to make that happen. There's a link to the menu. It is available in the registration page as well. Let's see here. So again, arrival and check-in between 1 and 4 on Sunday. The orientation meeting is at 4 o'clock. So units need to be planning to arrive no later than 3 o'clock in order to get through all of the things. A little bit earlier if you're a larger unit. We do ask that the entire unit is present before we start the check-in process. Just because we have each unit or campsite will have a single staff. So if I have units getting split up, going through as they come in, the later group won't have appropriate, it'll be a mess. So everybody needs to get there together. Let's see. We will be parking, oops, where'd it go? There we go. Parking in our main outer lot. There will be a short walk from the parking lot to our suspension bridge, which is where all campers will be entering camp. It's absolutely the best way to get into Grizzly. If there is a mobility issue or something of the sort with any of your scouts that might be a big challenge or impossible, again, coordinate with us. We've got alternatives. That's okay. Transportation of your units and your individual gear. We will have either the camp ranger and or a single unit vehicle will be allowed into camp, and then we'll need to come back and park in the parking lot.
Right.
So just having some thought process about that ahead of time, and we'll communicate final details and specifics with that ahead of time phone call or email that you'll be getting the week ahead.
We have a trailer so that one of the trucks always take, and we put everything in our trailer and pull it. It's like a little, I don't know, 10 foot or.
Okay.
But
it will depend on which campsite you're in.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So
yeah, some of our campsites are more easily accessible with trailers than others. So
yeah, sure.
You can put that note in your registration. That would be helpful as we're assigning campsites to know, so we can try to accommodate that too.
Yes.
Sure. You bet. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. It's check-in procedure. I'm going to go over the suspension bridge. All scouts need to have their water bottle, their swimsuit, and their towel if you're not doing pre-check, and they need to be wearing their closed-toed shoes.
Right.
So if they have a day pack, that would be a great time to use it, because I know everybody hates having to carry all the things at once.
Right.
Stops along the check-in route are going to be, which order will depend on all of the other things going on at the same time. When you arrive, how many people arrived at the same time, all of that. Stops will include a medical recheck to go over med forms, just to make sure everybody's got everything. Especially things like if they have medications with them, it better be on the form. And if it's on the form, they better have them with them. Things like that. Units should have a lockable way to store medications if they would like to store them in camp. Otherwise, we'll be able to do storage at the med shack. However, that does require scouts to go to the med shack to get their medications dispersed.
Right.
Either one is fine, as long as it is thought about ahead of time. So med checks, the rifle range, they will have a range safety talk that they will go through. The waterfront will be visited regardless of pre-swim checks done or not, because at the very least, scouts will get an orientation of how entering and exiting the buddy board works. And then a general camp tour.
Okay.
Let's see here. So I have put up the leader's guide. There is a QR code here for the leader's guide. It's also in your registration. So, and this includes a schedule, which I'll show and we can talk about in a second here. But generally, day-to-day schedule, breakfast at 8, merit badges between 9 and noon, lunches at 12:30, merit badges / open program between 2 and 4, and it's all open program between 4 and 5. And then there is a little bit of break between close down from open program and evening flags and dinner. So everybody will have time to go back and change, take a breather, get some more water, all of those. And then we have evening program time between 7 and 9. Evening program includes things like campfires, friendship fires. There will be a game night. There will be things going on like Star Talks and overnights. There will be all sorts of things, and exactly what those are will be on the daily schedule that's handed out when you get there. There is a daily schedule sample that is included in the leader's guide, so you can just kind of get a gist of what's going to go on. So after that orientation meeting on Sunday, which is at 4, currently I have the SPL's specific leader meeting scheduled for just after dinner. That may or may not change. We'll communicate that ahead of time.
Okay.
After Sunday, SPLs will have a daily meeting. Again, this may change. Some of these things have changed already. They'll have a daily meeting probably at 4. That may change to near the end of lunchtime. And again, that will be communicated as we get closer. Adult leader meeting is going to be every morning at 9:30. And that should give leaders a chance to deal with making sure their scouts get where they need to go, take a breath, and then we can do our daily check-in as adult leaders. We are doing that separate on purpose. That way the SPLs get a chance to, some troops are better about letting their SPLs lead than others, and that's okay. So we're doing them separate so SPLs get a good chance to learn how to do it. They will be getting some training time on leadership skills and things like that as well.
Okay.
We are going to be using waiters. I've had several people ask me some questions, so I threw it in here. And they will be your unit will be responsible for setting up some sort of a rotation, whatever that needs to look like for your unit and or campsite. And waiters will be expected to report to the kitchen a few minutes ahead of each meal. To help with setup. They will be expected to help make sure that cleanup is done completely. Any questions so far? Since it's just you, Amy, we can just ask questions as we go a little bit too.
No, I think, no, this is good. It's familiar from years past, so yeah, not too much new.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this is a sample of what the schedule looks like at the moment.
Okay.
Hopefully it is, hopefully I've made it easier to read than what I've seen in years past. As always, there will be questions. That's okay. So for example, you can see Friday morning, trail to first class 5-mile hike. So this space in between where it says merit badges and open program, these big spaces are meant to be filled up with all of this happens on this day at this time, and this happens on this day at that time. All of this will be filled in with all of those special things as we get closer to camp. And again, you will get a fresh copy of this when you check in. Let's see here. Merit badges are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, we may have some merit badges in the morning, but Friday is generally given over to doing any final check-ins, turn-in of homework, go back and visit the ranges if you didn't quite make what you needed to make to earn the badge. All of those things is generally what we hold the morning for. In the afternoon, there is troop events, relay races, competitions. All of those things will be Friday afternoon. And into the evening, and a closing campfire on Friday night. So we do plan to do checkout. We will have merit badge counselors and things available in the morning. Breakfast on Saturday morning will be grab and go. There will be closing flags and time for adult leaders to make any dot any I's, cross any T's that we need before you check out.
Okay.
Let's see here. So new for this year, we have changed how our merit badge class schedule goes, and we'll go over that in just a minute here as well. The goal, we have moved it to single day and half day classes for merit badges. So the goal being that kids have time to really get in and really get into that deep exploration of the topic, as compared to the 4 hours a day kind of schedules where you are in and out for an hour, but you probably spend at least a quarter of that time in, you know, getting in and cleaning up.
Okay.
So, let's see. So we've got some new and expanded facilities. We've turned one of our buildings into a wood shop, and it's got new windows, it's got benches, they upgrade the electrical, all sorts of things. We're also working on expanding our metalwork facilities for blacksmithing, so that we can have larger classes for those kids that want to do that and provide that opportunity for more kids each year.
Okay.
And 2 new merit badges specifically are the woodwork merit badge and automotive maintenance. So I'm really excited for both of those, because those are some really fun ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, here, I've got it right here. We're also doing electronics and electricity. One of those is in the trades and one of those is in our eco-STEM area. So,
Okay.
and we weren't able to have our nature area last year, but we are going to have it this year. So we will have back all of the environmental science, forestry, nature. I think I listed them all: radio, SpaceX, mining and society, animal sciences, and maybe at the moment, astronomy, geology, and railroading.
Mhm.
So this is what our schedule looks like for merit badges at the moment.
Okay.
You will see the 3 different colors. The red ones are full day classes. So for example, can you guys see my mouse on here or not?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So for example, metalwork, as of this iteration, and I will explain more of that in a minute. As of this iteration, metalwork, you would go in on Monday and you would do metalwork on Monday. And then on Tuesday, you would pick maybe welding and something in the afternoon. Maybe you do leatherworking in the afternoon or something like that. But each day is going to be a different set of classes for Scouts. There are a couple things here where sections cross Monday and Tuesday. Woodworking is a good example. That means that session is both Monday and Tuesday. Woodworking requires like 4 projects that they complete, so we are giving them 2 full days of time to get in there and to work on those things.
Okay.
Same thing with the afternoon. Leatherworking, for example, is available in the afternoon, but it's Monday, Tuesday, and that is to make sure that they have the equivalent amount of time if they took it just during the morning. So they could do it on just Monday in the morning, or they could do it on Monday and Tuesday in the afternoon, kind of an idea. So, and like I said, this is a sample schedule. Some of this is going to get condensed and shuffled around. We have very comparatively low registration numbers this year, unfortunately. Unfortunately, as far as getting stuff done, but fortunately, that means that all of you Scouts are going to get a really intimate, I guess, experience. So you will have probably some smaller classes. You will be able to spend some more time. We may be able to expand some 1-day into 2-day classes if they are wanting to do that kind of thing.
Okay.
We will see. I'm still shuffling around, which is also why it is not up yet. So please forgive me for that. I will have it up absolutely by May 8th.
Okay.
Hopefully before then. I just have to get it into the system and finish sorting through what's going to be where. If I have to change things between when I get it up and camp, we will do everything we can to make sure that whatever they signed up for, they get.
Okay.
Even if it ends up being on different days.
Okay.
Any questions on that so far?
Nope. I won't have questions until I actually see what's available, I think. And for
No
my,
worries.
we only have actually 4 Scouts that are coming. So we're actually a small group ourselves.
No worries.
So, and 3 of them are older. They'll be 17 or so and ready to be done. And then we have like a 12-year-old that we have with us as well. So,
Awesome.
kind of a little difference in our, for the 4 of them, the older 3 will want to do all the fun, cool stuff. And our younger one will want to do the trail, the first class. So
yeah, they're probably going to be really excited about the tradescraft stuff. I know I am. Some of it's super exciting. Let's see here. Tradescraft kind of has some things are all day and some things are partial days. A little bit of everything. Scoutcraft, just about everything is all day. all day, single day stuff for the most part, so that they have the opportunity to really get into stuff. So, those ones also are the ones that get caught up a lot in the setup and takedown stuff. So, shooting sports are also going to be single day, all day type courses. And they will work, the instructors will work really hard to make sure that we are not doing just classroom in the morning and just shooting in the afternoon kind of stuff, because that spending that much time at once just shooting a bow or a shotgun in particular can be very exhausting. So they will be doing a lot of work to make sure that they are going back and forth and doing both, so that they have enough time to do what they need to do as far as shooting requirements, but they're not getting overly exhausted. So, and again, there will be open program time. So if they are having trouble completing the shooting requirements in one day, their aim just maybe isn't that quite good enough on one day, they can always come back and they can keep working on it. Okay. So costs and fees, it will be noted in obviously the online sign up. I am finalizing the program guide, which will also list those. Handicraft badges generally have kits that are purchased in the trading post. That gives scouts the most opportunity to make choices as far as which type of item they would like to make. Those are generally for each badge somewhere between 12 and 20 altogether. I think just about every other badge that has fees is for materials, and it will be paid through the registration system or with the registrar or the business manager. So that's things like electronics, electricity, metalworking, plumbing, woodwork, automotive maintenance, welding, space exploration, and the shooting sports ones. So, and they vary a lot depending on what those materials are that they use. For example, welding, it is $60. They use a lot of metal, so metal is not cheap. Shooting sports are in the $25 to $50 range. A lot of the other ones are $5 to $25. Again, depends on what the materials we're expecting them to use are. Okay, experts in residence program. This is formalizing what we've done in the past, where we have had volunteers, adult leaders who are in resident at camp, and maybe they are a plumber. Great, come help us teach the plumbing badge, because you obviously are going to know way more than our regular staff, generally speaking, because you've been doing it for 20 years. Yes, of course we want your help. Or maybe it's something that we don't offer regularly, aviation or engineering. Maybe somebody's an engineer of some sort, or any other type of thing. We would love to work with people to set some of those up and expand our offerings and provide some really cool opportunities for kids to engage with people that are professionals or advanced hobbyists in whatever it is that they do. Okay, so some noteworthy specifics here. Aquatics, all of ours, our merit badges where the scout has to pass the swimmer's test in order to complete the merit badge. And they have to do that first. If they aren't able to do it during check-in or pre-check, we usually give them the opportunity to try again during the first portion of their class, or they can do it during free time. If they're unable to do it at that point, we can switch them into another class. We are planning on offering space for Learn to Swim. It will kind of depend on if there's a number of kids that want that or not. So if there are kids that they really just need to learn how to swim, hopefully we should be able to provide that space for them. Tradescraft. Generally speaking, tradescraft is recommended for scouts that are 14 and up. A big part of that is safety. Safety, there is some switch that happens between 11 and 13 where they go from being this gangly, growing adolescent kid into suddenly they understand things in a different way. Along with that, they tend to gain strength and dexterity as they hit somewhere around 14. So when they're handling heavy hot metal, it's a lot easier to do that safely when you are strong enough to handle the metal without having to really think about how hard it is to lift it, kind of thing. So again, we don't have any hard restrictions. These are suggestions. I will not profess to know your scouts. You leaders know your scouts. You will know best whether Johnny Scout, you know, if you're a big kid, you can handle this, you're strong, you got this. Or, you know, maybe you're just not quite ready yet. That is going to be between you and your scouts. We will work with scouts to the best of our abilities and to the best of their abilities to complete merit badges, to do a good job of it. Every year, we always have a couple of scouts where we have to say, you know what, this year may not be your year for this one. Let's find you another merit badge that you can be successful at this year. So
good.
Woodwork in tradescraft, we do have some power tools that will be in there. Some of them are limited specifically to 14 plus. If we have 11, 12, 13-year-olds that are taking it that are otherwise good to go, again, we will work with them. If their project requires use of a power tool, the staff will facilitate the use of that power tool in order for them to complete their project. They are not limited to only hand tools that take 4 times as long. Metalwork, specifically, there are some very important details. They absolutely have to have closed-toed shoes. There is no exception. Their clothing, they should bring clothing that is 100% natural fiber. 100% cotton, 100% wool, 100% linen. We cannot have them in there with clothes that have polyester, rayon, nylon, anything else like that, because if they get hot, anything on them, it will melt, and it will melt to their skin and burn them. So that one is absolutely imperative. And unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of extra stuff to provide that for them. And it could be really big and bulky when they're a much smaller person, which makes it also dangerous in a way. So if they're able to bring 100% cotton pants and shirt, if they're going to do that program, we really, really, really need them to do their best to do that ahead of time. Shooting sports. Rifle is fantastic for first-year scouts. Absolutely fantastic. Archery is usually a really good one for first-year scouts too. We use compound bows, so there isn't a whole lot of strength involved in the they have to have some strength to get from the starting position to the position that they hold to do aiming, but once they're there, generally it's really not too bad. However, the muscles that you use for archery are muscles that a lot of kids don't use on a daily basis. So sometimes some younger scouts may have some struggle with it just because they aren't developed in that way yet, and that's okay. So, and again, we will work with them. If they want to keep working on it, we can give them a partial and they can keep working on it in the future, or we can switch them. Shotgun is one in particular that is often a big struggle for smaller scouts, and that is mainly because the shotgun itself is heavy, in addition to using muscles that you don't normally use all the time. We do have some new use shotguns that may ameliorate that to some extent, but that is one where, especially if they're on that cusp where you're not really sure, they should probably be prepared, try it, and if it doesn't work, we'll switch.
Gotcha.
We are constructing a black powder range. So at this point, that will be a free time opportunity only. We also have action archery, which we should be able to set up as a free time opportunity as well. Let's see here. I wanted to make a point about homework. Excuse me, for merit badges. Some of them do require some outside time. A lot of the nature badges often have a lot of outside time homework. Some kids are they love this stuff and they do great. Some kids, homework is the struggle. Again, you know your scouts. I don't. I think all of these badges are great and they can always keep working on them. But if their goal is to complete it during class, they do need to be aware that there will be homework involved with some things. Astronomy and is it emergency preparedness that they do the overnight? I'm forgetting at the moment.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah.
I've got so many words in my head. Sometimes they all get mishmashed. So astronomy may be, it requires a nighttime observation to complete. So they will be out very late at night. Some scouts, that may be a big challenge. That's okay. Some nature badges have field trips. We'll need additional adults to drive. The emergency preparedness has an overnight that they go do. All great things. This is the time for kids to get the opportunity to work on these things. So, but you know your scouts, you know what they will succeed and what they will have challenges with. Free time opportunities. Everybody should be classes concluded by 4 o'clock in the afternoon so that they have time to do to offer free time activities. Everywhere should have some sort of a project or opportunity for merit badges or just some cool fun thing that they get to go do. There are some projects that may have additional fees. For example, if you wanted to do metal work, we'll have small projects available. That does cost money because you are using metal. So, and then there's some merit badges that totally can be completely done during free time. And we'll have some more details on that as we get closer and what actually shakes out. And I think that looks like that's everything that I have for right now. I can answer any questions that you might have.
No, I don't think I have anything. I think it's been well covered. Thank you.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so very much
Yeah.
for coming. If you have any more questions, anything pops up in between now and then, you can always shoot us an email or give us a call.
Okay. And then you said you made a recording of this. So is it going to be posted, or will you send it to me, or how does that work?
I believe we're going to be emailing it out to everybody who's registered, and I think we'll have it posted somewhere that late registers can access. So
okay, great. Yeah, I'd like maybe some of the male leaders that are going to be there to see some of this would be good. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Sounds great. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you very much. You
All right.
enjoy your evening.
You too. Thank you.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.